Come manifest your best life with 190 Vision.
Will you please tell us your name?
My name is Chetan.
And tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
I'm a 46-year-old male living in the Bay Area in California, in USA. I'm a father of 2 children. I've been in, and I work in the software industry here. So I have a good, stable job. I've been in the US for now 22 years. So yeah, that's who I am. And I'm originally from India, so where I was born and raised. So my family, my parents, brothers, sisters, everybody lives back home in India.
Oh, so you're by yourself here in the United States?
I do. Mostly. I have a cousin who lives closely here. So I have a cousin who lives in the same city as I do. So and I have some other cousins living on the East Coast of the U.S. But majority of my family is all in India.
Okay. What is the original reason why you reached out to 190 Vision?
So I have been married to my beautiful wife Namrata for the last 20 years. Since we got married in 2002. And in 2016, Namrata got diagnosed with breast cancer. It was a late 3C stage cancer. And, you know, we fought it through in 2018. She went through the whole shebang. You know, she got all the treatments, the most strongest treatments that were available in terms of chemotherapy and others that she received. And she recovered. In 2018, she was declared cancer-free, quote unquote. And you'll understand why I say that in a minute. And then she went back to work and she started living a full life. Her life was going great. Her kids were doing well at school. Both of us had good jobs. She was thriving in her career. And then in last year, in 2021, in October, she suddenly fell ill. She started getting headaches. She started getting nausea. She was extremely dizzy. She was feeling, she used to start shaking, like suddenly she would start shaking, and like almost like seizures. And so we went to 2 months. We went to many doctors trying to figure out what was going on. Nobody could figure out what was going on. They kept saying, "Oh, it's stress. It's stress. You know, don't work so much." Even one of the hospitals, reputed hospitals we went to the ER, they thought, oh, maybe your husband is not treating you well. That's why you're reacting the way you are. So on and so forth. So they refused to give her a treatment. And then in November, I remember, November 19th, I can never forget that day, we went to an eye doctor, and I said, let's get your prescription checked. Maybe you're getting all these symptoms because, 2 years of COVID and you've done so much computer, your prescription has really increased. The doctor, the ophthalmologist took a picture of her eye and found a swollen optic nerve. Said, you may need to go to the ER like now. So we immediately rushed to the ER where they did a test, and it turned out that her breast cancer, that she was so quote unquote cancer free, a few of her cells had escaped and permeated over the last 4 years, permeated her brain. Normally, in a human body, they call it blood brain barrier. So nothing can permeate to that barrier into the brain. But these cells, for the last 4 years, kind of slowly broke down that barrier and got into her spinal fluid. So that all of those symptoms were because her cancer cells had now gone into her brain. So we admitted her to the hospital immediately. And again, like normally, obviously we both wanted her to get well. So we started to treat her immediately. It started with the chemo and the whole 9 yards. But she was not doing well. She, obviously she had said she was getting all sorts of treatment. So I started going to Facebook and started posting on all these. I started following all these groups, spiritual prayers and healing. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in the power of spiritual. Somebody up there that's looking out for me. So I started posting and asking people to pray for her, and that's when. Just out of accidentally, you pinged me and said, "Hey, we could help you." And I said, "Absolutely." And then that's how my journey started with you guys, because I felt that, that the ability, because you guys, could to send her more, ability to heal and get more energy and be able to feel better and get more power, because her body, and she was fighting with all her might. If anybody knows my wife, she was a strong-willed person and very strong. She wanted to live. She had the strong determination to live. But I felt that you guys were adding and giving her more firepower, if you may, to continue to fight that battle. So that's how I got connected with you. Because I wanted fact that anything that could help her fight her disease.
Okay. So you reached out and we went ahead and we let you know we'll do what we can for your wife. And some treatments had started for her. Did you notice any improvements with your wife's health or her behavior or anything?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, going through that horrible disease, going through all those medical treatments, definitely takes its toll on the physical body, where you're just not feeling good, and you're, you could see, she was hooked up to all those monitors, and you could see that, sometimes the vitals would be off and she would really be unwell. And I would immediately ping you, hey, Laura, can you please help? And you guys would send a lot of healing energy and a lot of good energy her way, and I would immediately see a difference where I would feel her vitals coming back to normal. She would feel, more calmer. She would not be in as much pain, and so every time it would work like magic. And you could, if you didn't know, if I didn't contact you and you were just doing it without telling me, you'd be like, "Whoa, what's happening?" So it immediately made an impact.
Okay. Now, your wife obviously is not with us any longer. She ended up passing away. What were your thoughts at that time with the work that had been done and the fact that it didn't heal her?
Yeah, she passed away last year in December. And look, for me, of course, at the start, I was wishing for a miracle. I was wishing that all of the prayers from the family, the love, all the medical doctors, everything that you guys provided to her, the combined effect of all of that would help her recover. And I was hopeful that she did it once, she could do it again. It worked, it can work again. So obviously, I was hoping that. But when obviously, life had other plans, God had other plans, and so when it happened, I said, look. Yeah, there was never a guarantee for success, but it helped ease her pain. It helped her minimize the suffering, because again, it was a very horrible disease. It could have led to a lot more suffering and pain. So at the end, she did not suffer much, and she was able to pass away very peacefully. So that was when she passed, and afterwards, I'm glad I did. I would not change a thing of what I did. I think it would have been far worse if we had not done some of the things we did.
Okay. Now she had passed away. She hadn't been gone for too long. And I'm talking like within hours or even a day or so. And I remember my husband saying, please reach out to Chetan. We have to speak with him. Do you remember what took place at that point?
Absolutely. Word by word. I can never forget it. So, of course, I was overcome with grief. We had a very happy marriage. We were married for 20 years. We loved each other tremendously. Of course, we, like any husband, wife, we had our differences. Sometimes we argued and we debated and fought, but there was tremendous love and respect for each other. So I was in a lot of grief. And of course, I have 2 young children. So I had to, worry about them. And so my first question was, how am I going to do this? What's going to happen? Obviously, I was really insecure about the future. How am I going to do this? Single parent. Never even imagined this day would come so fast. She and I would talk about what happened if one of us passed before us, but never thought, we thought, oh, it's like 20 years from now. Why are we even talking about it now? It's out in the future, and it was that day that was there in front of me. And so, yeah, I was, just as I was not sleeping through the night and thinking about the next day, what's going to happen, we got on a call with you and Ken, and she had contacted Ken and was communicating through him to me, of answering all my questions and basically telling me, there's no way that Ken would have known the things that he told me if it had not come from Namrata, about our kids, about what dreams we had for them, and what they want to do, and what's going to happen, what we want to happen, and so on. So there's so many things that I think it was a 30-minute conversation. I still have the recording. I remember every word about key moments in our life that have happened, key moments in our life that we want to have happen, and what's going to happen. Like it's only Namrata would have known, and so Ken was able to pass on those messages to me, and I remember just having tears in my eyes because it felt overwhelming, and to know that she was dead and I had a way to communicate with her and connect with her was pretty amazing.
To hear the rest of this story, go to 190 Vision TV on Roku TV or Amazon Fire.